Yo! Yo! What is up? What is up, my friends?
What is up?
Hellos, people of the internet. It is My Swag TV. We're back on. We're live. We're live today.
And we're My Nerd Swags.
My Nerd Swags, the nerdiest, the swaggiest,
That's right.
the TVistest, and all things Groken.
Nerd is the word.
All things Groken. By the way, we've got George Leroy's hanging out with us already.
Hey guys.
They're already screaming about the Groken.
Groken.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm a little upset today. Especially knowing that stinking George and stinking Leroy already got their Johnny Phantasm goodness, and mine is somewhere in the mail.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, I've been robbed. And even with your spoiler alerts and your warnings, you guys, I went ahead and watched your show. It was good. I can't wait to get my hands on that book. This is what drives me crazy. I love Indiegogo. I love supporting locals, but I'm a very impatient person, and I want my stuff, and I want it now.
Yeah.
Give me my goodies.
Yeah.
So
there's some good stuff that you're going to show in a bit. That it was a month we waited for that stuff.
A month.
Anyway,
you know,
we'll get to
that. It's all the same.
Yeah.
So hello, people of the internet. It's gonna be a good day today.
Yes.
We got Anthony Figaro. Figaro.
There you go. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
That's the real operatic stuff right there, dude.
Yeah.
No extra charge, guys. That's
And
included.
this week in the hall, in our weekly hall, I've got some good stuff, y'all. Flew into
What town was that?
I flew into Phoenix, Arizona, and then drove down to Maricopa. And I had an extra day. So on Wednesday, after promoting my book, Breaking the Bastard Spirit, now available on Amazon bestseller in 1 week.
Free delivery with Prime.
Yeah, boys. Free delivery with Prime. Come on, y'all. After promoting it, I had a free day. So I went and checked out a comic book store called Mr. E's.
Mr.
E's comic book store.
Is there a play on words there? Maybe?
It is.
Okay.
And now the coolest part was this. The guy was okay, and I don't know if he's watching, but I told him about the show because we tell everyone, he has a really incredible back issue just collection.
Right.
It's so well organized.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I was moving stuff around. You could find everything rows and rows, completely organized. And then, dude, thanks,
George, awesome.
Ow, that's so cool, man. I'm available for copy editing free. There was a couple of mistakes. We found them too. We'll deal with our copy editor. We actually paid a lady to do it. Okay, so we're inside of there. And then the guy's like, hey, I got a bunch of books I haven't had time to process yet if you want to dig through them because I know you're new in town. So he let me go through this new box of stuff he had. And as I found stuff I liked, I was like, hey, what do you want on this? So I ended up with some good comics today. So I'd like to go first, even though you're going to probably.
No, I doubt it. I mean, I got some stuff.
But,
so
I this is what I pulled out from Mr. E's. These are my Mr. E's comic books that I got. So every time I find a copy of this, I pick it up. Every time.
Right.
So picked up Wolverine today. Little Wolverine. I think this is my second or third copy.
Who's on top of him? Is that Saber?
That's Sabretooth. Okay. Yeah.
He doesn't look as sabery.
No. Yeah. I think that's pre-claws.
Okay. Hey, I got a question.
Yeah.
Are you hearing anything? Are you hearing anything in yours? In your earbuds?
No, you won't hear us talking.
Okay.
When we put in headphones because we're tired of getting the ring back on things.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Just for more, I'm gonna hold that one to the last one. Because I know this will get me made fun of too, but I don't care because I like what I like. So picked up some X-Men goodness. Number 7.
Yeah, Amazing Adventures reprints.
Number 4.
It's Kirby stuff. It's
Kirby stuff, man.
Yeah.
Number 4. Number 14. I got all these for like $3 a piece, though, man.
Yeah.
For $3, you pick them up.
Yeah.
So,
and 40 cents, by the way, 40 cents is how much the comics were when Terry was born.
1980s, 1980s, y'all.
I did the research.
All right, and then I got number 8 also. So these are just fun, man. Back before Beast was blue, just had giant feet, you know. Picked up some Spider-Man, some ASM goodness. So 333.
Yep.
Picked up
Venom.
the photorealism.
Ooh, Tom Hall is so dreamy.
So dreamy. This is like, I don't know who's playing this, but what's funny about it is
him, is it?
No. But whoever's playing it, man, it looks like a mixture of a couple of guys. Found a fantasy. Let's get.
George doesn't like the X-Men.
Well, X-Men doesn't like you. They told me. I asked.
Okay, listen.
Got him.
If you don't ask like X, why?
Yeah.
Man.
Dad jokes. We got them all day long. All right. How about this one? I picked up a fantasy masterpiece.
That was cool. Number one. Center. Those are reprints, but it's a classic reprint book. That's after Marvel started getting hot and they started reprinting the really good stuff they had before they were selling zillions of comics.
But for being a 12-cent, number one, pretty clean book and really good condition.
Probably about a 60, maybe a 66.
Yeah. So I picked it up. And then, as always, some more Wolverine goodness. I know. We know your opinion. Can we skip Terry and just go to James? You guys are jerks. Man. You guys are jerks. Bunch of jerks. Listen, you know what? One of these days, you're going to show up here on a Wednesday night. No one's going to be here to push the buttons and be pooped on by you guys. And you'll regret it then. I'll let it slide. Okay. And then I'll let it. Cyclops is more annoying. I love it. So. Anyways, yeah, I dig this. The miniseries is so great. So
yeah,
and I got this one pretty cheap, man. It's got some spine ticks and stuff. So I think I paid $15 for it.
It's probably worth $25-$30.
So he hooked me up. He was like, he gave me the out of town special, which was just give me some money and get out of my shop. You've been talking to me too long. So all right,
did I finish my UFC fight? Is that a compliment?
No, it is. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think it's because you're wearing afflicted t-shirts and all the guys that go into battle runners. Okay.
Yeah.
This
is
the one that I was excited about picking up though. So,
yes. Duranko, Captain America.
Come on. So that was the last one I picked up there. I feel like if I did a pressing and a cleaning, I think I can raise this an entire grade, man. It's really decent condition. Yeah.
I think you can raise it a point.
So, anyways, so, and then I picked up some new stuff. All the aliens goodness. We're going to be doing an auction somewhere at some point. And so we'll be putting all these out. Some Scotty Young goodness.
Scotty Young.
I didn't even know who did this one. I just thought it was good.
Nice cover.
So.
Aliens.
Oh, yeah. See? And you almost skipped me before you got to see this Steranko goodness, you bunch of jerk faces. Love you anyways. I like this one. It's Peach Momoka. I know you don't know who she is still, but she's just been signed with Marvel. So, we'll see where that goes. And, dude, I don't know if the story's any good. I haven't read these yet, but I love the Aliens art all the time.
Yep.
I pick up Aliens. I pick up Predators every time they're available. Get them out of the dollar bin all the time. I just like the artwork on it. So where are the good comics? I wouldn't know, obviously. All right. And then you got me another hookup on the Scotty Young stuff. So
this is a
whole bundle. I haven't opened it.
It's a Scotty Young bundle that they made me a deal on. Crusty Bunkers.
Yeah. See,
Crusty
Bunkers. The crustiest of bunkers.
The crust stops here.
All right. That's our jingle for them. We are still trying to get in good with the Nils. With the Nils. With the Adams.
The Neilites.
So, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what, Mr. Replicator?
That's a level
if
10.
we wanted your opinion, we'd go to McDonald's and bother you and tell you how to make the fries. But we don't.
Whoa,
I'm just kidding, Mr. Replicator. I'm sure you're nice. And your mama's not fat.
Oh my gosh.
So, we love you. Okay. So, anyways, a bunch of Scotty Young goodness. I haven't actually got to see this yet. So, Scotty Young, y'all. Scotty Young, still
Scotty
fun.
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
That's more Rocket Raccoon. Ooh, this is like a Rocket Raccoon collection.
Yeah. Look at all that.
Look at that.
It's all Rocket. I love Scotty Young.
You have any of these?
Nah.
Yeah, good.
Good. Nah.
Look at that. Now that's a killer whatever. What's his name?
I know about the Swiss cheese.
It's a killer
We fixed the Swiss cheese. But you know what that means, George? It means you read the book. So thank you for doing that. And look forward to all your other edits. We will fix them. It only cost me $25 to do an edit. So we're pulling all of them together, and we're going to fix the edits on that. And appreciate your help on that.
Somebody say that the Hittites,
and the Hittite. Instead of
I was going to say it's the Hittites, not the Hittites.
Yeah, I know. And I'm a pastor.
Listen, you guys need to read about Uriah the Hittite.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Anyways, that's all cool, man. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, you bet.
All right, so show us what you got. Let's end this. Go ahead. End him. Finish him.
We're going to end this.
So,
okay, let's start off with the not crazy spectacular, but Conan the Barbarian with Red Sonja in there. And they're fighting Pete's dragon. And so
that's hilarious.
Yes.
That is Pete's dragon.
Yes, that's what I said.
Pete's in the corner. He's like, and I'm an orphan. Now I have no dragon friend.
I got this one at that, is it Top Comics? I think it's Top Comics.
I don't know. I wasn't there when you ordered them.
And it was like $1. I don't know. It was a good deal.
Nice.
Okay. We've got a cool Team Up Annual number 4. We got a whole bunch of folks there. Moon Knight, Iron Fist, Power Man, Daredevil. It's a good one.
Yeah,
Nice.
I like it.
It's a fun one.
I like it.
I don't think it's a key or anything, but it's still fun. This was just bought for like literally $1 just for giggles. GI Robot. And you got King Kong and a pterodactyl. Now, how many different things can you combine in one cover?
Let me see that.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Is
GI
that a part
Robot.
That is. It's Weird Wars. I love Weird Wars.
Yeah.
Weird Wars is still that's one of the most underrated comics ever.
Weird War Tales starring GI Robot.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's some cool Venom, like Mr. Fantastic Venom. I don't know. It's really.
See, the camera's up higher now.
Oh, it's
the
right,
black
but
box
I'm trying to dodge the glare.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Some Venom action.
Pretty good.
Is that
there.
Donnie Cates all the way?
2 good ones that I bought the first Deathlock when it came out. I've got a few more now, but Deathlock and Doom.
Nice.
Pretty cool one right there.
Yeah.
Nice cover. And you can see the Kirby-esque Kirby Crackle there. So that's always worth it. It's hard to draw Dr. Doom without Kirby Crackle. It's almost impossible. It's like this. It's like making a cheeseburger without cheese.
George wants to, we needed you a couple weeks ago. We talked about Weird Wars. George wants to school us on the Weird Wars
Tales.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll let you school us.
Yeah.
We'll let you school us.
We'll talk. We'll do one of those where we just talk about Weird War. And just get into that whole thing. They had a bunch of Weird War that night that you would have liked.
The problem with it is anymore, everyone's so uneducated about things.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to buy one of those, there's always the Nazi imagery, and I'm a bald man, so they don't even ask you questions. They just write you off. It's dangerous, bro. I gotta sneak it in. So
they're judgers. They need to quit judging.
There we go.
They don't know.
Judgers.
This is Conan 200, which I got this for like $1 too, also, but I may already have it.
I figured that would cost you.
You may
200.
end up with this one.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, and it's I'd say it could be a 9, really. So, all right, now we're going to get to some really cool stuff.
You can't let me have one win. I went all the way to Arizona to try and win this week.
Strange Tales with some killer Kirby style Nick Fury,
dude,
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, that's cool.
I have to get that angle right. There we go.
There you go.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Amazing.
Those classic Kirby covers.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, that's my.
I'm
in the Strange Tales zone right now.
Yeah,
and trying to get my original Nick Fury collection going. But way more. This is yours, Lucas, the one I was waiting on. I forgot. Got mixed in.
Scotty Young,
MODOK.
That one's.
We're probably blowing the mic out here because I can't hear myself.
I don't know. You're probably not. I'll move it away from you.
Oh,
it's the elbow slams.
Am I slamming you with my elbow?
You can go.
Oh, okay. I'm not hitting you. Yeah.
This table, we got to get a better desk is what we need.
Yeah.
This thing is like We have the wobbly. We're set up on one of the wobbliest tables you could get. All right, keep going. Come on.
Yeah,
show us all the goodness.
This show is brought to you in Sense Around, and that's what's going on with it.
Every earthquake brought to you.
Here's a plain little, just a X-Men 274 I got for like $4 or something. And look at Nick on the cover. Yeah, Nick and Magneto.
Pre-Samuel Jackson days.
Okay, check on this one out.
You're going to be says we sound fine.
Puppy. Hulk 400.
Ooh, foil. Shiny 90s foil.
Foil
Come
or
on.
Foil holo, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, look at that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's a cool book. And that wasn't very much. I can't remember what that one was. But here's some more Venom.
This is the worst stream I've ever seen. Well, you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinions.
Who said that?
If you think it's bad now, it's only going downhill from here.
Okay, let's see. Now we're getting okay, this is yours. I'm going to give you this one.
Sweet.
Wildcats versus Aliens.
Nice.
Figured you get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
I like Aliens, but you love Aliens, so I get it for you.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And some Wildcats.
Okay,
action.
now I think George and Leroy will like this.
No, they won't. They don't like anything.
Some gold key Star Trek goodness right there. Look at that. And you can see Spock carved into the mountain there. Yeah. I guess there's maybe a Space King Kong behind him or something.
That's amazing. All right. I love it. Some Star Trek. Some Star Trek.
It's Kenneth Rocafort. Okay. So there's that. And just a Team Up 25, Iron Man and Human Torch. Just a good old garden variety team up. Nice one. Good cover. Strong.
Oh, are we saying the guy saying not bad? This is Kenneth?
Yeah, George does like Star Trek.
That's great. Man, if that's who it is, or if he's watching, dude, we backed your Grokin. I'm all nervous. I'm gonna say the name wrong.
The Replicator.
All right, run away.
Replicator. Yeah. Howling Commandos. Check it out, guys.
Yeah, man, that's beautiful.
To free a hostage.
I like it.
What is that? 80? Yeah. So there's a good one. Still got Nick going, and
see,
I'd say this is my favorite of the night. This is one of those
ginger, even
really cool, iconic Hulk covers. The color is amazing, dazzling. 108. Didn't have this one, and look who's on there. It's Nick again.
Man, you had a Nick pool or something that day, right?
I did. Yeah,
nice,
it was Nick.
Nice.
Nick Knight.
That's awesome.
Nick at night.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that this guy I just put up on the screen right here is Kenneth Rocafort.
Okay.
Which is the guy that did Grokin.
Right.
And we're going to be getting his book here pretty soon. I bought the bigger ones. We get 2 of them.
Awesome.
So we'll go through it. We can't wait to check it out, man. We'll check it out. We'll talk about it. So, all right. It ends in 2 days, you guys. 2 days. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into our special guest tonight, which is Anthony Figaro. And I did something cool tonight, you guys. I downloaded the YouTube video of his most recent project. So we're going to watch that together real quick, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. And you're going to like it.
And then we pop back up. We're going to put Anthony Figaro. I mean, if we're like messing his name up, what if it's got like a G or something, you know? And
I think
we're sitting there singing his name like Figaro.
He'll line us up.
All right, here you go. He'll get us all straightened out. He's from New Orleans. Nolans.
That's right. That's right. Nolans.
Okay, I like it. So here we go. All right. So with no further ado, let's say hi to Anthony Figaro. What up, man?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream.
There you go, man. Thank you for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
You got the name. You got the name right. It's exactly right, Figaro.
All right, cool.
There we go.
I was going to ask you right
Figaro from New Orleans. Yeah, that's the crawdaddy.
The crawdaddy. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Did I ever talk to you in New Orleans in the last, say, 3 years? Anytime? Were you at Wizard World?
Yeah, I was at Wizard World. I was at.
Okay, we may have spoken, but I don't know. But
he was the guy with all the beads on, but no shirt.
That was me.
That's pretty normal, though, bro. That's pretty normal. That's pretty normal. I was there. I usually, I don't know if you was by me, because what I do is on Sundays, every year I made it, I would bring king cake, and I would cut up the king cake, and I'd bring it and hand it out to people. And
think you gave me a piece of king cake.
If you got king cake Sunday morning, that was from me.
That was from you. So that's where we talked right there. You brought me some king cake.
There you go, bro.
I remember that. I distinctly
there
remember.
You go.
Yes,
nice.
Sir.
All right.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So okay. First of all, what's interesting, I love talking with artists as much as with the authors, but the artists are more fun because they're super creative. And did you notice that the picture I stole a picture off Facebook and you were holding a king cake, so I had to cut it out. But you're also holding 2 rolls or 3 rolls of toilet paper. And so
toilet paper, that was paper towel, I think, because I was handing out paper towels so people get the stuff all over their hand.
Yeah.
Well, with 2020, I just thought you were like making
it seems to make
prison yard deals.
I would have been I would have been way ahead of the game. This was in January. I'd have been way ahead of the game on that one, but sometimes it's like that.
So, man, you've been doing artwork for a while. You've done work with Topps and you've done work with Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool,
on
man. But one of the ones that you mentioned was in your bio. You mentioned you did maps.
Oh yeah. I did a guy he had a company called Locals Only, and what he was doing is he was trying to drum up people to basically shop locally. And so what we would do is we would go to local areas, like and we did Covington, we did a bunch of little areas, and what we would do is we would make these maps for them. And again, they were just kind of like exaggerated maps, but they were fun maps, so people could kind of see. You'd make sure, because what you would do is you'd make a map, and what you would do is you'd give yourself enough room to put the businesses on there, so the businesses could then advertise with him, put their spot on there. So when people go, oh, I'm going over to Brobridge, I'm going into Metairie, I'm going into Kenner, wherever, and I want to see an antique shop, or I want to see a coffee shop, or a beignet shop, or something like this, it would be on the little map, and they could just go in there and click on it and shop locally. And so I did a few of those, which was interesting.
See, I do the deep dives with our guests. We go in.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty. I dig that shit, man. You talk about that's awesome.
I also want to talk about this arrest record. No, I'm just kidding. I don't got that on you. I don't got that on you.
It's out there, baby. It wouldn't be hard to find. I can promise you that.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. Well, so how long you been doing art, and how long you been doing comics, especially, man? I've been drawing since I was a little kid and shit. But I guess it was I was about 10. We started as little kids. You ain't got a lot of money, so you go to the little corner stores and you borrow some comic books. You borrow them, and that's the arrest record I was mentioning about.
Well, that's what led up to it. You know what I mean? It started out like that, and then it led into something else. But we'll talk about that another time. So we got into comics. I started tracing them. I started drawing them. I started copying them. I started doing with all my friends and everything. Who could draw them the best? Who could copy them? Who could add guns? Who could add capes? Who could do whatever? Nice. And then you start building a library up in your head where this goes, where that goes, this muscle, that muscle. You start trying different poses and stuff like that. And what winds up happening is you get into this whole thing. And I think, I guess by the time I was about 22, I think, I made my first convention. I went to Chicago, Wizard World Chicago, Rosemont, in about 2003. This is when it was still really nice, like they had carpet on, all the floor had carpet on it. DC and Marvel was there, and I ran into a guy, and he had a project called Justice City Chronicles, and he said, "Man, I need an artist," and that was my first intro into comics. We published through Ape Entertainment, went through Diamond, the whole nine, and and then we had everything planned out, and then Katrina hit, and it kind of changed my life. It changed my life, and sent me down a different path, and it's taken me a few years to get back on track. Yeah, man. Right. Yeah. Wow. That's wild, bro.
Glad you made it through all that.
Yeah.
Grace of God, brother. That's all I can tell you, man.
Absolutely.
And then I noticed that it looks like the last project you were on was called God's Hand.
Yeah, that was.
And that seems to have like a lot of inspiration from the New Orleans roots and stuff too, right?
Right. So God's Hand was my first project. I created, I wrote, and I drew it.
Was that before or after what went down with Katrina stuff, man?
That's just that book fulfilled three. Let's see, that book fulfilled. I think that I sent out my last packages at the end of January, beginning of February.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So it just fulfilled, and I just finished
Gotcha.
that. I came back to that first because my partner Marcus again was doing his thing. I was doing my thing, and I did a book in 2016 for a guy who crowdfunded it on Kickstarter. And when I did that, it bled something back into me, because at that point I was still kind of doing the conventions. But even when you see me, I was doing all I was doing was basically prints and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so what wound up happening was, the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking to myself, this isn't what I do. I'm a storyteller. I want to tell stories. I want to do. That's what I want to do. Yeah. So with everything going on with Zach and just crowdfunding was changing and everything, I said, you know what? I said, before I go out, before I quit this whole thing, I'm going to take a shot, and I'm going to go out on my feet. And the fates smiled on me, and I put God's Hand together. If you haven't seen God's Hand campaign, and you haven't checked it out, and you haven't looked at, go check it out, man. It really came out good, man. And we actually, we had to close the campaign, but we actually offer a copy of it on this campaign, so you can get that book as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that a part of this one. Excellent. Yeah, man.
Excellent.
Well, that's awesome, dude. I love that idea too. It's like, because and I think that's why we like hanging out and talking with all the independent comic book guys right now. It's because these are the guys who are out just chasing dream, and making risk, trying out things. And I don't know, man. I think you and I are the same way. We're super creative and we're willing to chase after dreams, even if it's a little risky.
Yep.
Because I don't want to end up old and with a life of regrets, man. I'm gonna be old. There's no way of getting around it.
That's it, bro.
But I don't want to look back and be like, man, I didn't do anything worthwhile because I was just trying to be safe on everything. No. So it's cool, man.
No, an old man asked me, and I try to very hard, but he says, at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, what can you live with? Can you live with it, or can't you live with it? If you can't live with it, then do what you got to do. If you can live with it, do whatever you want to do.
Right.
It is what
What's
it
wrong
is.
with George, there's nothing wrong with being old. We're not in any way mocking the current circumstances you're in, my brother. I'm simply saying being old and filled with regrets for not achieving anything.
Someone said he was 300 years old. That's what. See,
he's like an oracle.
That's pretty good for 300.
He's one of the watchers. Yeah, he looks good for 300.
Back
got
to
a
chasing
full head of hair
dreams,
and everything, man. Yeah.
Before you get old, that's what the Bobcat is all about for me. I turned 50, and I was like, dude, you wanted to do this since you were a kid. That's when you started all this, and you're 50 years old. And if you don't do it now, guess what? It ain't going to happen. So that's when I jumped in with both feet, and I put all my cards on the table. Just did it, put it out there. And the wonderful thing is I was lucky enough to have people that know what they're doing, pros that have been around for a long time, say, hey, this ain't bad. So I was, you know what I mean? And I was like, wow, to get the approval of my peers, people that have been in the biz all along while I was out playing grown up and, going to school and raising kids and running a business and all this other stuff. They know the score. So I came back into it late in the game, and they've been very welcoming and positive and affirmative and all that fun stuff,
Well, good for you that while you were out there, you were actually being an adult. Because when I was out there, I was not being an adult.
I use the term loosely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good for you, man.
That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. Well, let's do a rundown on Justice League. So Justice League. Oh my gosh.
Justice City.
Justice City.
Close, baby. It's right there. It's right there.
Holy cow. Everyone's throwing out their ages and they're guessing George's age. Closest to George's age wins what? What are we giving him tonight? Wins. Hey, you win a book. You win a book from my my Goodwill box.
Oh yeah. We got a bunch in there.
Guess George's age.
I'm gonna hang on to GI Robot.
Closest to the correct age within month will win a random box out of my Goodwill box.
Random comic.
What's a random comic out of the Goodwill box? Anywho.
I always forget to turn the comments on, so I never know what people are talking. Like, what are they talking about? And then I turn the comments on.
I love it, man. The comment section. We're doing a show there, and they have their own comments. They have their own show going on. It works out nicely. Works out nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I love it. Winner doesn't get one. No. The winner gets 3 now. I'm gonna mail them to your house. I will find you. I have a certain set of skills. It's buying bad comic books.
And if you really give us a hard time, we're going to put your address in the comments. So
I like it. I like it. That's doxing. We're not going to do that. All right. Okay. So Justice City, man. So here's the vibe I'm guessing from it because I checked out what's going on and everything. It looks like you've got kind of you've done a spin on the Roman Empire, but you've made it very futuristic. Is that what we're doing? It's
definitely got elements of that in it.
Yeah.
Marcus wrote it, and when he initially did it, it was a 12-page story.
Yeah.
And him and I just had the same sensibilities, just two knuckleheads. We kind of both blue-collar kids. We played sports, like I said, we like to drink. We like to run the streets and shit. Fortunately, both of us kind of got into comics a little bit, and I think that helped us not end up where some of the people we knew ended up. But the story, we started to then build it, and he was real generous, and he let me come in and he said, look, you got ideas. What do you got? Let's start putting this together. And it basically becomes this story that we're basically 80s kids. So basically, Galaxy Rangers, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Thundercats, He-Man, all this kind of stuff like this.
Yeah.
These are our sensibilities. This is what, some people say 90s. Well, this is more 80s. Right. And so it's at the heart of what it is. So it's a typical action adventure hero story. You know what I'm saying? Because without getting fucking long-winded and everything, I'm trying to keep my language in check. I'm trying to be a better man today.
I like it, man. We appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
We appreciate
it. It's one of these things where, and I didn't know this, and none of this happened, but when we initially made this in 2005, it has this you couldn't put too much violence, too much gore, nudity, language, and stuff like this because you were still trying to catch up. You wanted to be in Image, you wanted to be in Marvel, you wanted to be in DC. So the game was still to make all ages books. Like you still were trying to make a book that could visually catch everybody, that was simple enough to where a kid could read it and go, okay, here's the good guy, here's the bad guy, look at that cool robot, wow, this, that, and the other, be entertained, but also have enough layers to it in the dialogue and the character development that someone who was older could be like, okay, this guy's got some layers to him. He's not just a bad guy. He wants this, he wants that, and really kind of get into it. And so I think we used to try to tell stories like that. But then as time passed, I think that we started just telling stories that we wanted. I want to read this. And I started to forget about the kids and started to forget about the younger audiences. And it really going back into Justice City. And it was just one of those fumble, stumble, bumble your way in. The fates smile on you, they smile on you. And you end up in this Justice City story and you're looking at it because its sensibilities come from 2005. And then it's built on sensibilities from the 80s. It's already designed that way. And him and I start putting it together because I'm sitting over there talking one day and I'm going, one of the problems with the mainstream industry is they're not bringing in new readers because they're not making content for new readers. Hell, they're not making content for old readers, but they definitely not making content for new readers. And then I kind of had to stop.
And when they do make content for new readers, they're going to the smallest denomination possible.
100%. No, 100%. Well, we had this conversation with somebody. It's like you're trying to feed the most nuanced group of people while the masses starve. And it's like you're doing an ass backwards. You feed the masses, then you find the nuances, and then you feed them. Yeah. But so I had to ask myself, well, when I thought about it, I'm like, well, that's what I'm doing. I'm not thinking about this. That God's Hand is PG-13. Okay, it's definitely PG-13. So that's it has, but I kept most of it kind of because I did want a certain group of kids, but this here is designed in a way where you can bring it. I could bring it to Children's Hospital if I wanted to, and hand it out. Man. It's just it's a good old fashioned action adventure adrenaline superhero story. Again, that's rooted, that has these cool sensibilities where, again, you have this Roman feel to it, but then at the same time, everybody's running off of this Bushido code. So you have the samurai element to it, right? But then you have kind of like this tech element to it where you have mechs, and then you have like almost this Street Fighter mutant element, because they have these people with powers. This guy can phase into water. You know what I mean? People have regenerative abilities and stuff like that. And you're taking all of these things and you're making it really visually appealing, right? And you're making all this stuff really interesting. But at the same time, you're trying to tell a real deep story. What does it mean to be a hero? What does it mean, to his father is the Grand Praetorian? Well, what does it mean? He wants to live up to this legacy of his father, but it fills him with a lot of pride and stuff like this. And so you start layering that stuff in there for the older audiences. You know what I'm saying? And it's a hell of a thing. I mean, if you to do something like this and to push your creative abilities and say, okay, how do I tell a really good story that can catch the masses, the entire masses? Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. I like it, bro.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and yeah, I'm a kid of the '80s too. So the '80s, that's one of the things that I really do think is lost in the comic book industry right now too, man. So yeah, although hopefully you'll give us a completed story. The one thing about the '80s is you got 27 pages, so you were always left with like you got just enough, and never the ending.
It's been dude. It's been. Let me tell you something. It's been, again, man. Like my good friend of mine calls them fog moments. Yeah, I'm gonna watch my language, but basically he says they're effing opportunities to grow, right? Yeah. So these moments become these fog moments because you end up, you walk in with your sensibilities from doing comics from 2005 and stuff, when everything was set up to be 22 pages, 25 pages, 28 pages, and it's set up to be in a series of 12. So you leave everything cliffhanger. You walk into crowdfunding and it's like, okay, well, you're asking someone to pay you $25 for a 50-page story. You'd better give them some type of closure in this thing, because again, it's like, hey, I'm gonna leave you on a cliffhanger in about 4 to 5, possibly 6, possibly a year. I'm gonna answer all these things, and it's like, to me, there has to be a better way. So it's trying to figure out, and again, pushing yourself into these zones to say, okay, well, I'm going to tell a 50-page story. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the arc in a way where there is a problem. There is something trying to stop it. And what I'm going to do is let me scoot over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that at the end of this, whatever problem is happened, there is closure to that. But by getting closure to that, you have now reopened an entirely different wound now. Right. Wow. So you get to the end of it. Well, in God's hand, I tried to do it in 50. I couldn't. I had to do 66 pages of story. I couldn't do it in 50. And so it's the same thing with Justice City. It's probably going to top out story page wise, probably again 65. You know what I mean? And then we have all this additional content that we're putting in, which again, what we want to do is we want to put in. Yeah, it's 80 pages off the rip. Once we hit 10,000, we'll throw in another 10 pages. But what we're trying to do is we're going to do a lot of production sketches for the next stuff. So you get to see who's coming, what the world looks like, the vehicle, all stuff that we don't have time to put in this. We're going to put in these little teasers so you go, wow, not only was the story cool and all this stuff, but look at what's coming. I want to see that. I want to see that assassin in color. I want to see that mercenary in color. I want to see that, you know what I mean? And put that in there so that my objective as a creator, whether I'm writing or drawing or whatever, is that when someone backs my product and they get it in their hand, that they are so thrilled with the book, the quality, the stretch goals, that they are already in their head. It's already decided that they're going to give me $25 next time. It's already decided that, you know what, this is such a killer experience that I'm definitely going back there and giving that guy money, because this here is definitely worth it. That's the objective every time.
I like it.
That's that is the correct objective. Period. That's right.
Yeah. So everyone, get your $25 out. Just plan on it. Plan on it. Just plan on it. I like it, man. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, bro.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Referring to the number of pages you're going to end up with, I'm not sure. I've got extras in there. There's content pages, probably just shy of 60, but with the cover and all that stuff. Issue number 5 that's at the printer now is going to be 64 pages.
That's And to me, if you're hitting 60, right, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what we agreed on. Me and Marcus, we were like, look, if we're gonna ask for 25, we need to be at 60. And again, this is for me. This is for us. You understand what I'm saying? If you can make a 40-page book and get people give you $25 and they happy, continue to do it. By all means, please continue to do it. Whatever's working for you. If your people who are giving you money and they're your fans and they totally content with what you're giving them and what they're paying, continue to do what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like by no means am I trying to change things. For me, it just because I'm a consumer as well. I'm buying books as well. So I'm like, you know what, man, when I paid 25 and I got a square bound 60-page book, I feel pretty, I feel like, okay, all right, like, it's, you feel a little better about it. It feels good in your hands. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes. And I'm just dying to get mine in my hands because I haven't done, the biggest one I've done so far was it was 44 pages before. And so going up to 64, it took me basically a year to get it all together. And it could have been faster, but it was last year in the midst of all the chaos.
That's what happened with God's Hand.
Yeah.
Hey, so Amanda's saying that the book looks awesome and that she's sad she missed God's Hand. But if on this new campaign, there is a feature you could actually throw that in. Why? Let me ask this. Why is there not more? And this is just because I'm on the outside, and both of y'all can answer this. But why not some digital too for us? Because I keep finding things I want to read. And you can't find it once the campaign's over, and there's no like comic book store I can go and get it from the back issues. What's preventing maybe a digital also to go along with that? I want both. I want tangible, and I want, because I'm a collector, so I like things, and I like it like this. I want it I want to have a back and in a bag and in the box, but I also want to. You don't want it.
Yeah, when you get a quality book and in good shape, high points. High grade, you don't want to touch it. You don't want to bend the spine. That's where the digital comes in.
Yeah.
Or if it's an older book, I like to get some of these classic books that I've wanted forever and I have never read. I'll get one that's just torn to bits and pay a couple of bucks for it. Yeah. And I can read it all I want and
without
get
feeling
a great
guilty about
copy
it.
to add to my collection after that. Yeah, and not touch it.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just asking a question because
listen.
And I'll tell you this. I just wrote a book, and just financially, I make way more money when they buy it digitally. Everything about it. It's so much because I don't have to pay for the printing. The royalties are more in my favor. So. I don't know. I was just wondering that because I love to read, man. I want to read them all, but sometimes it's just.
I don't know, man. Because I can tell you the first thing you run into, and again, you try to be prudent and practical about everything. And so you have this issue of, if you put out too much digital, can it be pirated? Can it be moved out like that?
Yeah.
That's that. Some of the old timers when I first came back in, and because I wanted to pick brains and stuff, and they were just like, we don't do digital.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the way it is, So I kind of adopted that, and I've gone with it. And again, I hear what you're saying, and I would tell you if I had enough fans that come to me and say, "Hey, can you offer digital?" That may be a different story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I totally believe in supply and demand. So if buku people came to me and said that, I would. But no one for me, anyways. I'm not saying anybody. So it's I don't know what to compare that to. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I was just asking. I mean, because
it's a good. It's a legit question, man. It's a legit thing to deal with.
Yeah, a lot of guys in the comment section right now are with Comic-Gate. So I was looking at that. I kept hearing about Jawbreaker, and
Comics-Gate. What's Comics-Gate?
I don't know. Ask those guys.
I'm playing.
Ask those guys. I don't know. It's something easy that I speak of carefully.
Gotcha.
Lest I be removed from the interwebs forever.
Yes,
those are my people. Those are my people down there in the comments.
So, but luckily, because I kept hearing about Jawbreaker, so luckily I was able to find a copy digitally. But you're right. It was pirated because it was available. But if it had been able to purchase somewhere, man, I would have happily. Y'all gonna get us in trouble. Cut it out. So I would have purchased one digitally because I wanted to know. I just wanted to read it because if that's the thing that starts things, let's figure it out. So But anyways, I was just curious, man. I'm not.
No,
I'm not
it's a
telling
good.
you what to do. Y'all know what to do.
No, man, it's a good question. And again, like I said, it's not something that I would be against or whatnot. It just, is it something that the fans are, is that something they really want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hell,
Yeah,
Vanessa.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was going to ask you, with everything we've been talking about so far, what is the next step? Where are you going next? What's going to happen?
Yeah, that's a great one.
With Justice City or whatever.
God's Hand 2. God's Hand Volume 2.
Yeah, Volume 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a bigger hand? 6 fingers?
It depends, baby. I mean, if you're willing to pay for 6 fingers, it'll be 6 fingers.
So,
yeah,
because God's Hand. So, and I haven't read it. I just checked out your last campaign again because it's not available anywhere. Otherwise, I'd pick it up, man. But it deals with a lot of the supernatural element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, so the deal with God's Hand is that guy came along and I was donating some artwork to like a fundraising thing, and dude seen me and the little lady was like, "Oh, look at this," and he goes, "Wow, this is really nice, man. How about we do a news story on you?" I said, "Yeah, cool, man. I'm thinking blowing smoke or whatnot." I said, "Okay, great, sure." And sure enough, like 2 weeks later, man, this little dude calls me up and he says, "Hey, Lou, we want to follow up." He says, so I'm thinking, "Oh, well, cool. I got all these prints and all this stuff like this." And he's like, "Hey, look, do you have any stories about New Orleans?" And I was like, "Oh, shit." I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Well, could you make one? Could you make a story about New Orleans using real New Orleans legends?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, And again, fog moment, right? I'm walking into this like, shit, And I started putting together some stuff, and all of a sudden it grew. It had legs, man. All of a sudden it was like Gene Lafitte, who's a famous pirate down here. Well, he fought in the war 1812, fought for the Battle of New Orleans and everything. Was a real character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Marie Laveau, and so it was like I started to build this story about what would happen if monsters were real and all this kind of stuff. And so I started to weave this tale. Okay, well, what if you had all the monster stuff, but instead of Men in Black, you had this, paranormal crime scene investigators, right? So there's a veil over everything because there's these spellcasters and they cast a spell over everything. So you see the normal world, guy gets hit by a car, but it really wasn't he got hit by a car, he got attacked by a werewolf. But you don't see it that way.
Oh,
and so
cool.
they have what I call the NOPD, the New Orleans Occult and Protection Department. And so they bring these guys in to investigate these things, to see what's up. And Lafitte's, one of the higher investigators. And so the story basically, that's kind of the world that it's set in. And the story basically picks up with Lafitte's. He's been in exile for 15 years from New Orleans. You come to find out for this thing called the Katrina incident, right? And so what winds up happening is in the very beginning, he's been exiled and now he's a monster hunter, right? And he's got this team. And so the beginning of the book, you see the team, and then he gets a call and they say, "Look, we need you to come to New Orleans. You got 48 hours. Somebody's killed Marie and they've stolen an ancient artifact. We need you to come in. You got 48 hours to find out who killed her and get the thing back." Right. Okay. So the story is about him coming back to New Orleans and basically figuring this out. And what happens is, as he starts investigating, it starts to lead back to the Katrina incident, which is this cool thing where there's this hospital in New Orleans called Lindy Boggs. It's a medical complex, right? And it's basically been the storm destroyed it, right? And they've never done anything with it. It's been sitting there since Katrina in the same condition that it was after Katrina. It's still there today.
Wow.
So I tied Lindy Boggs in and just basically say, this is the heart of the Katrina incident.
Okay.
And there's some shit that went on here that's so toxic, like they can't even do anything with this thing.
Yeah.
And so it ties all the story again back to the city, back to reality, back to real things, mixing in all of this occult stuff, all this magic stuff, all this stuff like this. And Lafitte is essentially the quintessential New Orleans person, man. He embodies the spirit of New Orleans. He is New Orleans, and so it's just kind of getting to see the interactions with the characters and shit like that. And and so again, and at the end of the story, you kind of get some closure, but you realize there's something bigger going on here.
Well, see, man, how do I get a hold of this? I want to read this now. That's even better than what you're.
Right.
Don't tell Marcus that. Yeah, don't tell Marcus.
No. I mean, listen, I'm excited about Justice City too, but I'm saying, like, I want to read some God's Hand now. That sounds cool, man.
Yeah, and this is all what you just described there. Is that what's occurring in volume 2, or
that's volume
everything
1.
That's 1, so it's there. Okay.
That's
and we can get that directly from you, or what? How do we get that?
You got to back Justice City. Back
Justice City,
okay. and you can get you a copy of that.
All right, there you go.
I'm looking for it though. Which one is it? It's
the featured.
Oh yeah.
Now let me put it like this. You can get. I have it set up to where you can get any tier you want to get, and you can add God's Hand to it. Because you know what I mean. Because there's some real add-on. Yeah, it's an add-on to whatever. That's just the featured one. Because a lot of people ask me, man, hey, bro, I didn't get it. Because again, by the time I came on the scene, I was already funded, right? And then I came into the community, and with COVID and everything, it stretched me out. And I just was like, bro, I got to end this. I knew this would happen. I kind of figured this would happen once it got out and stuff, but I couldn't keep the campaign open anymore. I didn't feel right. I was like, let me do. I need to take care of the people who's already in the box, bro.
Yep.
And these people have been waiting, man. I'm gonna close it out. Let me take care of these people, and we'll take care of the rest when we get down to it.
Cool, man.
You did it the perfect way. And I took a little longer. No, I took way longer than I wanted to because of what went on last year. And so I've got plenty of people that are waiting for these books that hopefully I'm going to have in my hands inside of 2 weeks. Now, finally, and they've been very patient and everything, and it's like, they've got to get their books, and you're right.
I find the people, man, are again the people in the chats are great, man. The community's great, you know, and what I find is that it's really the rule of business is as long as you, and because that was my thing, I was always transparent, I was always sending updates out, I was always letting them know what was going on. I even threw in some extra stuff. I threw in some extra prints and stuff because I knew I was running a little bit behind, and I had no issues, man, like no issues whatsoever. Because again, people will really, you know, they understand. You know what I mean? Like as long as you are upfront with them and you're in contact with them, they get it. They understand. That's all they really want. They want to be acknowledged that, hey, listen, bro, I got you, Mom. I'm working on it right now. Let me show you what I'm doing. Let me show you the new thing. Let me show you the new bookmarks that came in. Let me show you the new prints that came. So they go, oh, well, look, this is the new stuff coming in. You know what I'm saying? It's only a matter of time before my product comes through here. Yes, that's what they want to see. They want to see here's the trading cards in. Look, here's me signing them, you know, pictures of them and everything like this, and people like that. So I think if you do that, I think they will forgive you as long as you are, you know, again, behind the scenes, nobody knows really what you're doing. But if you behind the scenes and you busting your ass, I really believe that shit comes through. I really believe that, man.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And George just got through busting my chops here. Because of a lack of updates. I haven't given him enough updates. I apologize.
But what y'all understand is there's a reason I'm in this live feed. It's not because I add any value with the comic books I bring. It's because I push the buttons. So if you want a weekly update on where the Bobcat's at, watch our show. We'll let you know where it's at.
Yeah.
There you go. That's good too. Listen, that's good shit too, man. That's good stuff too.
I'm gonna when I get issue 5 in my hand with that perfect bound square, binding, I'm gonna feel like I just got the Red Ryder BB gun.
Nice. He's gonna shoot an eye out.
You will be. Let me put it like this. You'll be exalted. Look, this is what's gonna happen. This is what happened to me. Guy had to tell me, look, man, I got the proof. And that's one, don't get me wrong, having the proof is one thing, but you're like, I still got this many units coming. What if they did that? What if it's not print? You know, what if you'll get them, and if they get it, God, hopefully they're all perfect, right?
Right.
And I promise you, you'll be excited for about 5 minutes, and then you'll be exhausted, because what'll happen is when you get all those books, you'll finally breathe, and you'll just be like, oh, you'll realize you've been emotionally holding your breath this whole time, waiting for these books to come in this condition, because this is what you're going to give to your people. This is what you're going to give to your fans. And when I got mine, man, they went fucking. It looked so good. I mean, it looked so good, and I was like so happy. And immediately followed up by, I'm completely exhausted. I need to go lay down. Right. And my friend says, hey, bro, he goes, I called him up, and he's like, hey, bro, you breathe yet? And I was like, that's what this is, bro. I just took an emotional breath.
Yep,
that's awesome.
I'm with you 1,000%. Honestly,
Amanda wants to know if you're gonna do metal prints.
Yes, we got those. I want to say, is it on? I believe it's in the the Captain's Club. I know it's in the Grand Admiral's deck. I believe it's in the Captain's Club. That's the first box set that we got.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Captain's
Club.
There it is.
You get the box set. It's a beautiful box, man. And,
hey, do you know Kenneth Rockerford?
I don't know him. I know of him. He's a hell of an artist.
He's in our chat too, man. He's
a hell of an artist. Hey, that dude inspired me. I was doing that dude is cranking out. That dude is he is cranking out sketches every day, and I tried to keep up with him. I was trying to make some. I was filming myself. I was doing some time lapse, man, and I couldn't do it, bro. But he inspired me to sit down and do some live drawings, man. Him and Fraga, dude has been consistent. Every day he opens a sketchbook and shows another piece he did, and it can be anything, anything he's doing, and he's just again, you know. Steel sharpen steel. He sets the tone. You go, hey, bro, that's the mark. That's what you're trying to do. That's what you're chasing, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is the level. Everything else, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Let's figure out a way of hanging out, man. Let's get an email going or something, because we'd love to hang out with you too on here. So we'll make it happen. That's cool. Yeah. So, look, he just said thank you. So
thank you, brother.
That's awesome, guys. I love that, man. That's why I like this community. This is why 100%. I like this community. This is the most real community there is. And it's like it seems like everyone's out to help everyone out. You know, people aren't just another rung on the ladder. It looks like there's a kind of a community that cares about raising the whole platform, not just one or two users, man. So that's awesome, dude.
I've told that to people that in my opinion, the real difference between this community in the mainstream or whatnot is fellowship. Straight up. When I walked into the community as nothing, nobody. You know what I mean? They took me in, man. Hey, man, brought me into private chats. Hey, look, go on this show, talk to this person with no hey, man, we want to see you do good. And I think that's the real difference between this community and all other communities. I'm gonna tell you right now, any other communities in comics, it's got nothing on this community at all.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm with you.
I love it. I love it. I think everyone's feeling the love, man. I think everyone's feeling the love. Look at that. We're just all in tears now as we.
That's it, baby. It's all love. That's what it is. It's love.
No, man. They've even accepted a bunch of weirdos like us into it, so it's been fun, man.
Yeah.
So,
I told somebody today. I said this community.